Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, as you all know, that Pakistan is on the cusp of a mineral revolution. With vast untapped reserves of precious and rare earth minerals waiting to be exploited. The Pakistan Mineral Investment Forum 2025 that was held in Islamabad, in which lots of professionals, the 5,000 professionals, and at least 300 delegates, including investors, participated. Their sentiments were to explore Pakistan's rich mineral potential, and they were eager to invest in these mineral resources across Pakistan. With estimated deposits worth over 8 trillion US dollars, Pakistan is poised to become a major player in the global mining industry. The Reko Diq project, this is one of the great example, which is one of the largest copper gold mine. It is 50-50 partnership between Pakistan, including the federal government and the Balochistan government, and Canadian company Barrick Gold, which is going to be a win-win situation because it is going to change the life of a common citizen, particularly the people living in Balochistan and in Chaghi district. It is because that 25% chunk of the ore stakes of the Balochistan government are fully funded, secured, and largely going to benefit the people of Balochistan, particularly the people in Chaghi district. As Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has categorically said that this time there would be no raw mineral export, but the focus will be on value addition, and this is what is required. Then the auditing, right from exploration and extraction to the export of the value-added products. Then, of course, setting up a real-time industry, the refineries, which are going to be linchpin and a real-time skeleton of this whole mineral world. Then, it is important to develop the railroad linkages, right from Chaghi to Gwadar or to Karachi. And of course, the most important thing is that social development and social protection projects, along with this project of Reko Diq, for the locals. When we are talking about health, education, the skill development, along with that, the water, power, and other amenities of life. It is important that we should provide security to the investors along with the local population. So these are the areas at which we will focus, and we will discuss this whole scenario. For the discussion in our studios, particularly we have in our studios Dr. Neelam Nigar. She is the senior economist. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence here. And with her, Dr. Mirajul, he is the associate professor at the International Islamic University, Islamabad. Thank you very much for your presence, sir. And online we have Ali Ehsan Rind. He is the ex-country head of Reko Diq project in Balochistan. And along with that, Mr. Abdul Hannan, he is the global mining expert, faculty member of the University of Sargodha as well. So most welcome to you both. Thank you very much for having with us online. But to start our discussion, first of all, let's have the sentiments of those participants, the delegates and investors, and even the students who were participated in Pakistan Mineral Investment Forum 2025. Let's have to listen to that.
We fly airborne geophysical surveys to look at critical minerals. Pakistan has immense potential for critical minerals, for porphyry, coppers and gold, and we're here to find it. And it's a new jurisdiction, and there's investors eager to invest in Pakistan, and the the opportunity is now. So if you want to move forward with Pakistan, the time is now.
Hi, this is Syed Currently, I am representing Himalayan Earth Exploration. So I see this is a great opportunity and great initiative from Ministry of Petroleum and SAFC as well. So this is a great opportunity for international investors to come to Pakistan.
I am Haris and we are representing Globacor. This is a great forum that's been initiated. It's a great forum where people can and companies can meet and actually form in partnerships on specific mineral related exhibitions.
My name is Iskandar. My colleague is Kurulai. We are PSI Group company.
Very good forum, well organized and very good networking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are very grateful to visit your country and to see the Pakistani people.
मेरा नाम मोहम्मद पानेज़ है मैं बलूचिस्तान यूनिवर्सिटी सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस इन मिनरोलॉजी में पीएचडी का स्टूडेंट हूँ और रिसेंटली एज ए सीनियर जियोलॉजिस्ट इन आरएल में नेशनल रिसोर्स लिमिटेड में सीनियर जियोलॉजिस्ट एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहा हूँ.
I'm with Axiom Exploration Group out of Canada. We met HTMA at PDAC in Toronto at the conference, and they invited us to come out here, and based on their skill set and what they do out in Pakistan is similar to what we do in Canada, but we do a whole line of geophysics, ground-based, airborne, satellite-based. We had a great meeting with HTMA, and they were kind enough to invite us to join them at their booth, and we're working on a collaboration partnership to help support them on their geophysics here in Pakistan, and where we can use their services in and around other countries, Saudi Arabia, Africa, where we have a team in South Africa as well.
You have just listened to the participants, the delegates, the investors, the explorers, and even the students who have participated in Pakistan Mineral Investment Forum 2025. It was a great success. This was the second time that Pakistan hosted such a forum, and lots of investors brought in to this important area, which is the mineral exploration in Pakistan. So let's have a discussion on that. Dr. Neelam, what's the significance of the Pakistan Mineral Investment Forum 2025, especially when we have witnessed over 5,000 professionals, over 300 delegates, investors, the explorers and all others participated. And most importantly, the foreign investors, and along with that, the huge number of the local investors were the part of this forum. How do you see the overall scenario? Because every economist has the view that when local investors take interest in investing in nationally, then the foreign investors come to Pakistan.
Thank you, Raza sir. I think as was reflected by the sentiments of the investors, foreign investors, local investors and the students and faculty of different universities in Pakistan, I believe it has the potential, a transformative potential for the economy of Pakistan. If rightly leveraged, it has the potential to create foreign direct investment, which obviously the country is in need of.
Yes.
Billions in foreign direct investment. It has the potential to create jobs and employment opportunities for the people of the region where these critical minerals are based. And then it has also the potential to boost the revenue of the provinces and the regions like Gilgit-Baltistan and Balochistan. So these all have the potential. These all are the potentials of this particular forum, which was at display in Islamabad with the number of delegates in attending it. But it all depends, as I said, it all depends on the institutional capacity and the regulatory framework that is needed for such big critical investment in such critical or strategic sectors. We have always been grappling with these issues, the domestic challenges, be it the security challenges, political governance challenges, and the institutional mechanism, which is normally being lacked in such big forums. And that is the reason that mostly we have lost these particular opportunities. Now it all, as you rightly mentioned that, and I was looking at some of the case studies around the world, that what the government of Pakistan needs to learn from these things. And you rightly mentioned that the Prime Minister has rightly identified that there would be no export of raw minerals from Pakistan.
Yes.
And this is what is being done by countries like Malaysia. They made it part of their policy document that no raw material will be exported from the country, and there will be installations of refinery units which will be refined, and then a value added product will be exported from this particular thing. I think these are all the right steps that have been identified, that have been laid out. Now it all boils down to how this institutional mechanism is being brought into documents first, and then bring it into its operationalization framework.
Definitely, you
so
are
that
absolutely
is one
right.
thing, and with that, I'll go to that. As you rightly mentioned, that the economic value of the strategic sector cannot be only looked at from the economic perspective, right? You have to look it into a broader geopolitical factors that are at play,
yes.
right? See, the competition between US and China in critical sectors like AI, like electric vehicles, these are all the sectors in which countries are realigning themselves, so that country like the United States reduce its reliance on the on Beijing.
You are absolutely right, because
yeah.
then the US containment of China policy,
Obviously.
because ultimately, and India is the proponent of containing China as a counterweight to China, unfortunately, though India don't have the capacity to be the counterweight. But now India is using the third and fourth country for having proxies to inflict terrorism on Pakistan, and ultimately Balochistan is the target, and this is one of the reasons why it is. And Prime Minister has categorically mentioned during his address to the forum. Dr. Miraj, it is some reports actually suggest that Pakistan has the deposits of over $8 trillion of precious and the rare earth minerals. Do you not think that the state institutions, the federal and the provincial governments, along with the local and the foreign investors, have to join hand, and this forum was actually an effort to do that, join hands together and jointly to achieve the benchmarks of Pakistan's development and prosperity, particularly when we are talking about the mineral development in Pakistan?
Thank you, Faisal Saab, for giving me this opportunity to address this important question.
You are most welcome, sir.
Before delving to answering your question, let me provide a background to make it more clear. You know, economy structure is the combination of two things, with hardwares that God-gifted natural resources, and software that human capabilities, intellectual, political, and social landscape. The potential use and the prudent use of these hardware means God-gifted natural resources definitely depend on human capabilities. You rightly pointed out that Pakistan have a vast range of diverse critical minerals from this gemstone, coppers, gypsums, marble, oil, and gases. But unfortunately, we haven't, this is in most of the developing countries, due to lack of human capabilities, technological means backwardness, they haven't potentially utilized these natural resources. The situation is not different in case of Pakistan. I think this is now, from the last couple of years, the geopolitics of minerals change. The two largest economy of the world, US and China, they are focusing and they are tracing this critical minerals. Now this is opportunity for Pakistan, and we can harvest the potential gain of these natural resources that we are holding, and we possess. The joint collaboration of the triangle of state institutions and provincial federal government, I think this is the right way, and we can harvest the potential gain of these available natural resources, and we can, if we develop human capabilities then we can.
This is very important point you have made regarding when we are talking about natural resources is the one thing, but the human capability and capacity is the another thing. And for that matter, it is important that we have to develop our human resource for that particular matter. Your point well taken. Ali Ehsan sir, if you kindly elaborate, because you were the ex-country head of Reko Diq project in Chagi, so you know better than us that what the Chagi Reko Diq project is all about, as what we got it from the data that its feasibility report was comprehensively completed in by December 2024, actually have proven mineral reserves of about 15 million tons of copper and 26 million ounces of gold. Will be extracted in 2 or 3 phases right from the beginning, but that will start production in 2028. Barrick Gold and Pakistan government, including the provincial government, has the 50-50 stakes with 56% of the capital investment by the Barrick Gold and 44% by the federal government. And in that sense, the Balochistan government is actually enjoying the free carrier, means they don't have to invest, but their 25% share is absolutely ensured and secured. And when we are talking about that, the royalties, that is the main question always. The Barrick Gold has 38% of the royalties and 64% beneficiary of the people of Pakistan, particularly the people of Balochistan. How do you elaborate each and everything overall in a scenario? If you just elaborate on that, please.
Is part of Tethian belt, which is geologically quite rich, and then the project itself is one of the largest undeveloped copper mines globally. The project itself is then divided into 3 phases, or initially 2 phases. There's the phase 1, which takes the production of copper to 220. Then there's the phase 2, which kicks in from 2029, takes the production to 440. And then obviously this is the large exploration license is also granted to the joint venture. And at some point, an exploration program will probably identify further potential and take it to maybe a phase 3. With phase 2 alone, it will be one of the top 10 largest copper mines globally. And the gold potential itself is a tier 1 class asset. So it's very sizable project on the global mineral map. And it is something which was supposed to be happening maybe 15 years ago, but finally the project is happening. The feasibility was completed by December 2025, and the project now goes into construction. As far as the economic benefit is concerned, it is a 50-50 joint venture, which is a good partnership, a model that way that Pakistan along with Balochistan is 50%, but the economic benefit that will flow to Pakistan and Balochistan is 65% because taxes and royalties are on top of the profit sharing. So I think Pakistan is heavily benefited from this project, and we have a lot of experts today on this program, and they will probably elaborate that this also opens up the mineral space for other international and domestic partners to come in and now invest into exploration.
Ali Ehsan sab, you have mentioned that this feasibility is going to be completed by 2025, December 2025, if I'm not wrong, and the production will start in 2028. Is it correct?
The feasibility was completed in December of 2024. The project goes into construction. The first phase of construction is 3 years, so you'll have your first production in 2028, and then from 2029 we'll have the second phase of development, which is another 3 years. So we will start.
That's heartening to know that 220,000 tons will be in phase 1 and 440,000 tons, double of it is in phase 2 from 2029. Your point well taken. We'll go to Abdul Hannan sab. Hannan sab, what about the authentic auditing of the raw material means? How to calculate much material collected after the blasting, then the grinding, then processing, then concentrating, then production auditing during the industrial process and then exports the value added products. Obviously the value addition of either the copper, gold or any other mineral, as the Prime Minister categorically said, we are not going to export any sort of a raw material, but the value addition will be our prime focus. So whether we are establishing such facilities like refineries and industries to have high end products to diversify our overall exports, particularly the exports of minerals, and earn for Pakistan.
Thank you, Faisal, for this good question. This particular question related to the mining cycle, because in large-scale mining, what we do initially, like as Mr. Ehsan said about the feasibility study, because all the mining cycle depend upon the pre-feasibility study, pre-economic evaluation, and then we start exploration. So after exploration target, the next phase is the development cycle, like after a 3D model, like the designing of a pit shell and calculating the resource and reserve estimation. When we actually start mining, so we are actually calculating the major resources. So what happened globally, like wheresoever is that mineral commodity is being mined, it is being processed on the same locality. Otherwise, the cash flow or the cash flow will go out of the country. So this is a very good need of time. Like we need to develop, we need to sign a few MOUs with international organization, because in case of technology transfer, in case of processing plant, we are lacking this technology. In the previous history, what we had been doing, we were collaborating with our neighboring collaborator in case of Sandak metals, and in case of Muhammad Khair copper project, like the Meadow have developed an in situ plant. So this is a good need of time, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan have rightly said, like we cannot send the raw ore out of the country, because it will create a lot of freight charges, and the cash flow would be in the form of the final product. So in case of Reko Diq project, the raw ore will be processed within the country, and we will export out the finite prog or the final shell. So that is the good symptom, and in that case we can generate a good revenue. The second point I will add in point with Ms. Ehsan, like in case of Reko Diq lease, this is around 190 square kilometer area. So whole, like if you look about geologically, the Chagi magmatic arc, we have another adjoining areas in which neighboring firms within Pakistan are looking forward to take up the lease. So if this type of large-scale project will happen in Reko Diq adjoining or magmatic arc, so it will definitely boost up the economic growth of the country. And I must add to your point that not even this Chagi belt in the northwest Pakistan, we have the Chitral, untapped mineral resources, we have the same geological setting. So what we need to do, we need to highlight those mineral rich zones. We need to explore on the international standard. We need to add up the cash flow by making our resource and reserve estimation, so that we can bring about an international investor. And for that reason, we need to do the scoping studies according to NI 43-101 or York standard, so that like any company coming to Pakistan, they always go for market study. So this step would be a prime commodity that the government of Pakistan would initially take up while learning from the exploration and the business model of the buried gold. And this will definitely add up in our GDP. And this is the point that the export of the mineral technology. So Pakistan is basically not right now capable of doing that. But what in the Mineral Investment Forum, government of Pakistan have signed an MOU with the Metso Group. Similarly, we need to sign up with the world top players so that the technology transfer comes to Pakistan. We will have an opportunity for the local player to learn about the processing plant. And this is a way, like those, it is very much costly. So in that way, it will bring
absolutely right, Abdul Manan Sahib. Technology transfer and getting the know-how from the international standards and the experiences, that is very important. We have to share the international best practices for that. Dr. Miraj, what urgent structural reforms or the policy intentions are inevitable to realize the dream to turn Pakistan a global hub of mineral development? By gaining expertise, as Abdul Manan Sahib rightly pointed out, and exports to earn more for Pakistan, more foreign exchange. How do we align ourselves with the global best practices in mining sector with having good mining governance?
Pakistan have a vast diverse reserve of critical minerals, but unfortunately most of them, many of them are untapped and underutilized.
Definitely.
The prudent utilizations of these critical minerals required comprehensive structure reforms, addressing security risk, and the same time energy crisis and built up human capabilities. And you know, most of these critical minerals, they are scattered across the countries.
Definitely.
From mountainous range of Hindu Kush and Himalaya to this coastal regions of Balochistan and Arabian Sea. That's why I think infrastructure, critical minerals infrastructures development is very, very important. In the same time, you know that the prerequisite to cope or to utilize these critical minerals, water is a prerequisite. And Pakistan at the moment is at one of the highest, the most water stress country in the world. I think comprehensive reforms means development of infrastructures, capability of human, and at the same time availability and of water and security concern, energy crisis should be removed. I think there is, you know that Pakistan is running, historically Pakistan is running huge trade deficit, and we have great potentials. If we properly utilize these mineral resources, then the structures issues that we are facing, that trend deficit and especially this trade deficit, this is headache.
Definitely, mineral development will bring a lot of economic benefits to Pakistan, no doubt about that. And Pakistan can export, when we say even the large scale industries, definitely they are, that is the one area which if you export, it can enhance your exports in leaps and bounds, because if you export just the commodities, that has the meager contribution into exports. So no doubt about that. The natural resources are very important. You're well elaborated. Dr. Neelam, how we can overcome, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Miraj, the security and the political instability challenges, as even the external inimical forces and their internal proxies are actually exploiting such issues and trying to destabilize Pakistan. Particularly, we are facing it in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, particularly the tribal districts which are mineral rich. They are actually having the nefarious designs, and we know that why India is using these proxies into Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And these, even the rich, mineral rich and even the rare earth mineral rich areas are actually the focus of our enemies. So how we can ensure the security and how we can have the political stability, because without political stability, no country can grow really.
Right. See, this is for sure that the security concerns of the regions of Balochistan or the other peripheral regions cannot be addressed by military means.
Alone.
Right? Alone.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
So you have to come up with a comprehensive policy, security policy, which is a mix of social security to the region, political assurance, local ownership of the regions, because most of the time it is being said and it is witnessed that the region of these areas are excluded from the social development policies, and also the local ownership of that area is missing. So once these structural issues are addressed, I think at this critical time, with the critical mineral sector which is picking up in this country and around the world also, it is very important for the country, for the government of Pakistan to ensure these steps, right? And for that case, I think we need not to give room to the external forces
definitely,
to take the space, the vacuum that is being left.
We have to put our house in order.
So in that case, I think the social security or the developments or the policies which are diverted to the health, as you mentioned rightly in your intro also, that the government needs to invest more in the human development of that area. I was looking at some of the documents of the mineral frameworks that is already there. The government of Pakistan needs to make contextual related policies for each sector. As mentioned by the doctor, professor, that the minerals are scattered from the mountainous regions to the coastal areas of the regions. So there should be a
even
context,
in the deserts and plains
even
as
in the
well.
deserts.
Yes.
So the context of the policy should be according to the region, right? There should be a context-specific policy for the mountainous regions, as it should be for the.
Definitely, the population has their own needs when it comes to the terrain and
I
geography.
would say it
as
should
well.
not be a unified framework for
Obviously,
all of the regions.
you are right, absolutely.
So political ownership of that region must be ensured. Local governments needs to be brought in order to give local ownership for the people of that region. And also, once we are looking at the mineral policy framework, we need to align them with our industrial policy, with our climate policy also, because I'm not very much fan of these mineral resources, because literature tell us that literature shows that most of the developing countries, underdeveloped countries, these resources are considered as resource scarce for the regions, right? So they do not translate to the needs of the local people.
Definitely.
So for that, it is very important that all our policies are aligned.
Aligned not only with the industry, but also with the academia,
with the climate,
but also with the climate
with
as
the
well.
climate policy. So these are very important areas that needs to be addressed before we embark on.
So as Dr. Neelam said, Dr. Miraj, would you like to add something, because Army Chief General Syed Asim Munir assured the investors to have foolproof security when it comes to their investments, when it comes to the dignity of the human life and overall. And Special Investment Facilitation Council, the Government of Pakistan, they are trying hard to have that with the uniformity of the policies, consistency of their approach, and also the regulatory frameworks. So these all, including security and all others, to remove all those bottlenecks which are there for investments and particularly the operations. So what's your opinion? Would you like to add something on that?
I believe the main concern of investor is security situations. Army chief involvement, it will boost investor confidence. Additionally, you know that governance issues, energy crisis, and relatively high cost of doing business, these are main challenges that we are facing. Establishment of this special investment facilitation councils, I think, and Army chief involvement, I think these are two best measures that we can boost investors' confidence, and we can attract foreign investor, and we can encourage local investors to invest. I think both measures means Army chief involvement. It will boost investor confidence, and at the same time this establishment of this special investment facilitation councils, these are acceptable, and these it will pose positive impact on.
Definitely, Army Chief has also elaborated during a briefing earlier that till when we spill the blood of our soldiers and officers just because of bad governance. So that is very important, that we have to improve the governance level, not only at the federal level but also at the provincial level. So it is very important, very inevitable. Ali Ehsan sahab, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Neelam about the climate aspect, I add into that environmental protection when it comes to the welfare of the local communities as well. Then strategic environmental impact assessment, or the environmental impact assessment in that area, in Chagi particularly, because that is very important for the protection of the locals as well. To have a better atmosphere, better environment, that must have to be intact when it comes to the Reko Diq project. So whether we also work on the social development, like the building of infrastructure, the schools, the health facilities, the pure water availability for the locals, and water availability for the project as well, because most of the times we have seen that the mineral development needs abundant water resource. So whether that is intact, and then the electricity provision as well, the human development, like highly skilled, professionally sound, educated, and trained manpower, the human resource development in that area. And one of the very important thing is the placement of those locals, jobs and employment for those locals who are there in Chagi. in the Reko Diq project. So what do you say on that?
So you're highlighting two aspects of the project. One is the environmental aspect and then the social license itself. So all these projects, and this includes Reko Diq project, should follow two standards internationally. These standards are pretty well defined. There is an IFC performance standard. Reko Diq follows IFC performance standard. Then we also have equator principle, and these are the two world-class standards which these projects should follow. Reko Diq follows it because it's an IFC-funded project. And the operator itself has very high standard as far as the environment is concerned. I think the second aspect is even more important. Our security forces, and they've given full commitment to the project, and we have been provided a lot of support as far as the security aspect of the project is concerned. But we need to understand that the real security is provided by the people who live in the vicinity of the project. And not only Barrick and Reko Diq, but everyone who follows and develops these projects, they will have to win the hearts of the people who live around these mines. And that is
the
your
social
real
license
security.
to operate there.
Yeah, and that's your real security. And I think, therefore, places like Chagi, which are pretty low in human development index, there are certain areas which need to be focused in our view. Health, education, the TD is quite high in that region. So drinking water, livelihood, and then how they will integrate these projects will integrate the locals into the employment as well as the contracting side of the business will really determine success of these projects on a sustainable basis. And you know, my experience working for the project for 2 years, obviously, you see on ground, you would see Hunar, Indus, a lot of good performing non-government organizations partnering with the project. But at the end of the day, we need to remember nothing will change, and these projects will never be sustainable if people of Chagi do not feel a significant change in their lives. And that is where obviously all of us, including the companies, the government, and everyone involved in these projects is to involve the locals as much as it is possible.
Definitely, you are absolutely right, because locals' confidence building measures are very important in this, and definitely the consultations between the Barrick Gold and the Balochistan and the federal government is always at par when it comes to the social protection of the local population. That is a must to have a win-win situation out of this project. So, Abdul Hannan sir, some experts believe that utilization of the low-cost Sindh Thar coal for energy requirements could be the viable way. So why not to establish copper, gold or other mineral refineries or the value addition facilities or industries there in Thar or in suburbs of these areas, so that we should have the low cost of doing business, having the cheaper energy, because we are producing the cheap energy from the coal right now. So have the low cost refined minerals and the value added products as well. That will give a competitive advantage when it comes to the exports, the Pakistan's exports into the international market. And of course, the special job quotas for Balochistan people, Balochistan population, and especially those who are living in Chagi, in those industries are going to be set up, and also to the other provinces as well, so that we have a harmony type of thing created among the population of every province, particularly the Balochistan and the people of Chagi.
Yeah, Faisal, I would like to add a ray of hope for Dr. Neelam and Dr. Miraj question regarding the critical minerals, because globally people are talking about rare earth elements, people are talking about critical minerals and strategic minerals. Now, when we look, because I work in Australia and Canada, what I've seen over there, the way of exploration method has been changed now. Like the areas from glacial terrain to sand desert terrain, even the coastal areas, you don't need to go now to get the mineral exploration at initial stage. What we have to do is to acquire one of the latest Aster satellite data, because you name BHP, you name Rio Tinto, you name any good firm, they go for this satellite technology survey from the NASA data. And what we can do that, like we can identify up to 300 minerals and we can identify 100 plus elements in any mineral commodity. So right now, critical minerals, strategic minerals, that they are not a big game. What we need to do on government level, we need to categorize Pakistan for the untapped mineral resources. We need to collaborate with international firms who are specialized in this type of latest technology. So can at least what I know from this technology, we can go up to a safe depth of 800 meters and we can identify like any type of mineral element that lies within the range of critical mineral commodity and that for strategic minerals. And then on the ground check reality, we will target it only those zones through the geophysics, through the gravity mag data and the drilling data. So I just wanted to add with my colleagues over here at your program, like I would like to add, like the technology in the first world country has developed so fast, so we need to work on that. Now coming back to the question regarding the third coal and all the mineral commodities, I would like to add, like, first of all, for any mineral commodities, we need to check it's the market value, the grade value, because we have a coal, and in the whole third coal, the coal is not of the same grade. Like we technically divide the coal into lignite, anthracite, bituminous, subbituminous. So first of all, we need to check what type of grade control do we have in that particular region, and then we will
your point well taken, Abdul Hannan Sahab, your point well taken. Actually, we have run short of time, so we have to be very quick and brief on that. Ali Ehsan Sahab, what kind of a mechanism we are adopting regarding the railroad transportation, as it's extremely important when it comes to the Barrack Gold, the Chaghi, the Reko Diq project, because Chaghi linkage with the Karachi port, and the most feasible is the Gwadar port to utilize that. So how we are actually working on railroad projects to link Chaghi to Gwadar and Karachi?
I think there are two projects. One is an immediate project, and then there's a long-term direction in which eventually this transportation is going to move. We need to remember that globally large minerals, they move through rail networks because that's the most cost-effective and safe way of moving the minerals. There is a rail route which connects Nakundi to Karachi port, and that is the immediate plan as far as I understand. But in the end, there is a long-term plan which connects Nakundi all the way to Gwadar. And that is the most efficient way to transport these minerals because the distance is 650 kilometers, which is less than half of the other route. One other advantage that we have of Gwadar route in particular is the route connects the entire southern Balochistan to this mineral development. And that will become a very good mineral development corridor for movement of minerals from Chaghi all the way to Gwadar, covering the South Balochistan districts. And that would be very, very good for us from a security viewpoint too, because that kind of integrates and develops that area along with Chaghi district.
Obviously, you're absolutely right. Dr. Miraj Sahab, rare earth minerals are of physical nature. If briefly you tell us, because there is a kind of opportunity created when China is having halted the export of the rare earth minerals to the United States. Now, United States is in search of different sort of markets or the resources which are available in different countries. So how quickly we have to develop our mineral resources and to the quality of value addition so that we can not only export to the markets like United States and earn precious foreign exchange for the country.
Faisal Sahab, this is a paradigm shifting in technology. Most of the world economies, they are switching towards sophisticated technology and especially in defense technology. This robot and many others defense technology. They are now running with batteries. That's why the switching towards sophisticated technology sharply increased demand for critical minerals. And at the same time, geopolitics of minerals has been changed. Currently, China dominates critical mineral supply chain. And this is policy concern or security concern of US to trace this global supply chain of critical minerals. Trump administration is taking keen interest to counter China supply chain of critical minerals. That's why they want to encourage investment in Pakistan and to counter this China supply chain.
Definitely.
I think this is opportunity. Both major economies and largest economy of the world and technological rich economies, China and US, they are taking keen interest to invest here. I think it will aid, means it will make our export more value added.
Definitely, you are absolutely right. Dr. Neelam, very short, because we have run short of time. Growing demand for the critical or the strategic earth elements in aerospace, automobiles, semiconductors, robotics, military technology, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Miraj, means Pakistan has to excel this area. So what we have to do is to get our chunk from the international market. What are the promising investment opportunities in Pakistan's critical minerals and overall mineral development? And what would be the top priorities Pakistan has to unlock in its mineral potential in the next 5 years?
Okay. So it's a vast question, but I'll try to respond to it with regards to what Pakistan needs to do, particularly focusing on that Dr. Miraj also mentioned that it's a strategic sector. So we should be very focused on, we should not give an impression that we are ignoring our strategic partners also, right? So that is a very right balance of policies needs to be taken into account. But what Pakistan needs to do is avoid conflicts even within the region, right? Provincial autonomy needs to be ensured. As we witnessed in the KP government's mineral bill, there were certain concerns which are needed to be addressed. And I think the right platform for that is the CCI, the Council of Common Interests. These sectors, these issues needs to be brought
definitely
to
there must have to be a harmony required between the federal.
And secondly, I would say that as I mentioned earlier, that synchronization of policies, mineral policy to all other sectors of policies which are very critical. And thirdly, because as is mentioned that it's a kind of a polycentric governance model will be ensured, where there will be global players, there will be national players,
that is a must
players.
to achieve, really.
So in that case, ensuring institutional framework, regulatory framework is very important. For that, I need to say that a periodic follow-up of these projects needs to be made, to be ensured, so that the objectives which are identified, that the local people will be given employment, will be benefited more, that needs to be periodically monitored, followed up, so that we would not be again in a position where previous such projects have been jeopardized with our
Your point
challenges.
well taken. Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Neelam, for your presence here in the studios. Thank you very much, Dr. Miraj, for your presence. And thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Hannan, for your presence. And also, we are really grateful to Ali Ehsan Sahab. He has to go, but thank you very much for being online. Viewers, as you have just listened to our panelists, very professional and in their fields, they have suggested that no doubt that Pakistan has lots of abundant resources when it comes to Chitral, Gilgit-Baltistan, Balochistan, even Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Sindh as well, and in Punjab. But we have to be very focused, we have to be very sharp, we have to be very regulated, we have to be very responsible when it comes to these resources, because these belongs to this country, the people of this country, and we have to utilize these resources amicably. And we have, as Prime Minister rightly said, that we don't have to export the raw material or raw minerals, but we have to focus on value addition. That is very important. And then it's again that we have to enhance our institutional capacity. We have to ensure security. We have to have cope up with the governance challenges, and we have to have good governance and social protection for the local population. That must have to be ensured when it comes to these all projects, and comprehensive structural reforms, the security, the power, the infrastructure. These are all very important. Water is needed in that area. Human resource development is very important. When it comes to the industry, academia linkages, and we have to ensure environment and climate change aspect. We have to ensure green mining practices. That is very important. When it comes to the Barrick Gold project, it's no doubt that it's a very charming and golden example of investment in Pakistan. We have to follow this one, but we have to ensure that when in 2028 the phase 1 will start, people would have, the Chaghi people would have the training, the skill development, their jobs, clean drinking water, power, and all other infrastructure regarding health and education that must have to be there, because we have 3 years. And then the Human Development Index, because the Chaghi is lowest at that ebb. So we have to ensure that. When it comes to the political stability, we have to have, must have a cautious approach, and must have to be a national reconciliation at all levels. And we have to go for also for the geopolitical factors, because the US-China rivalry that is actually resulting into instability in our at least 2 provinces in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. So we don't have to waste time, we don't have to ignore these strategic issues, and we don't have to ignore the strategic partners as well. And when it comes to railroad projects, we have to ensure that Chaghi must have to be linked with first with Karachi and then with Gawada, because that is going to be a win-win situation for Balochistan, because Balochistan must have to gain out of these precious projects. This is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.